Hey, it's that guy Shawn talking about getting a job, ESL topic 4. So what is the best way to find a job? Now, I've been working since I've been a young teenager and constantly I've had to go look for a job. What I always do is my number is 100. So I will print out 100 resumes and I'll just drop them off everywhere. At coffee shops, at retail stores, H&M, Old Navy, American Eagle. I'll go even to restaurants, any position, waiter, even dishwasher. And so I'm an ESL teacher. I've been teaching for over a decade, but at times I need jobs and I'll drop resumes off everywhere. The reason is I want offers coming towards me so I can turn them down later, but I don't want this desperate feeling of nothing. So if I get a phone call and they say, oh, we need a dishwasher tonight, I'll go and wash dishes. In fact, just last year, I was washing dishes when I was living in Toronto. I was teaching, but not enough. And so I don't mind at all to do dishes or to work at a coffee shop, anything, of course, to make money. And I think a great way if you're looking for a job is just keep dropping off resumes. Don't sit in an apartment and worry about your rent. Just go and make moves. And once you're working, a lot of other things start to work out. And even other opportunities. Other people will call you when you're doing dishes for another job that you dropped off a resume off for. I always think of resumes like the little paper, like seeds. So I plant the seeds all over the city, and some will grow right away. They need someone. Others will grow later, maybe 2 months later. But the point is, it's better for those pieces of paper to be at all the different stores rather than in your apartment with your stressed out mind. What do you think are the 5 most common questions asked at a job interview? Whoa, so that's that's a great question. I know 2 that are really popular now is what are you really good at and what are you really weak at? And so I'm always prepared to talk about things I need to work on and things where I'm excelling. How about for you? What would you say that you're very skilled at, but at the same time, what do you need to work on? So what are some things you should do for a job interview? How about things you shouldn't do? So for a job interview, I always try to look up the name of the company, even if it's just a job working at, even a taco restaurant. I try to learn about the history of the company, who started it, what countries they've expanded into, because, sometimes that manager, that might be their full-time, they might have been there for years and they take, they take a lot of pride in that job. So I want to show them that I'm thankful to be a part of any company that will take me. What are some things you should do for a job interview? Okay, so things that you shouldn't do. I try not to ever go in late, of course, and I try not to be rude. I just try to be polite, and even if, sometimes the job interviews don't go well, or I can tell I'm not going to get it, or I can tell the manager just doesn't really, like me, I try to be polite no matter what throughout the whole interview and be positive. How is the job market in your country? Is it easy or difficult to get a job? This is a great question right now because there's many people, there's lots of movement in the world. There's lots of people going to different countries, and it even depends on the industry. Maybe they're an engineer, but in their country, there's lots of engineers and they can't get a good paying job. So they come to another country, but they have to learn English so that they can get a great job there. Other people, it's hard to even get a job at a coffee shop in their country. The market is just really hurting. In your experience, what has your job market been like? What is one of the best job markets? What country did you find pays the highest wages or there's always jobs? Great conversation topic to have. How many jobs have you had? What were the interviews like to get those jobs? So how many jobs have you had? Are you a person that's always working different jobs? What are the most jobs you've had at one time? Do you like working or do you hate working? What job do you do the best at? Which job have you not done too well at? If you were going to change jobs or try to get a job, what kind of job would you want to apply for? So this is a great question. I know a lot of people, especially in big cities, I lived in Toronto for quite a while, or even in Seoul. There'll be people doing jobs, something like maybe a coffee shop, And they'll say, look, when I'm not here, I'm studying, I'm really trying to get into marketing. I really want to work in marketing. That's my dream profession. I'm not just doing this job and then partying. So how about for you? What is your goal? What is your dream job to get into? You never know who you could meet that would open doors for you to get into that job. So I think it's great for you to have a little bit of information prepared about what job do you want. Honestly, passionately, what job would you like to do? How should a person dress when they go for a job interview? Great question. Depends on the job, but I usually always try to dress nice. Sometimes a suit and a tie, especially if it's for ESL teaching. I like to wear a suit and a tie. Just lets them know that you're a serious person. How should you act in a job interview? Confident, polite, humble? I always act confident, as you can tell. I like to talk. I like to express myself. I usually want to give them an idea of who I am, and they can tell. And I always ask in a job interview. I always ask the interviewer. I say, do you think I would be good here? Would I be an asset to your company? Do you think I would get along with the staff? And it gives me a chance they can tell me honestly if I would be a good fit. What are interviews like in your country? What information do employers want to know? Often, many of my Korean friends will tell me, in Canada, if you go to an interview, sometimes it's so relaxing, right? The interviewer just wants to know what you like to do, what are your hobbies, you laugh together. Whereas in Korea, it's very question, 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 question. Second job interview, question, 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 and they don't want to know about your personality. I don't know if that's always the case, but there's differences. What are some good things to have on your resume? Do you have a great resume? Does your resume highlight all the great jobs you've had? Can people talk to your past employers? Is it a good phone call if they call your last boss? Or is it a bad phone call? These things are really important and great to talk about. So let me know about jobs and what job you're going for. And try to use lots of words so you can prepare for a job interview and give your best self and be confident with the English language. Thanks for listening, guys.